Oh, everything's good with City now. Of course, going to Ipswich winning 6-0, we are really pleased. We are back to doing things that define this team for the last 10 years. Excitement, obviously, the bar was set extraordinarily low, but I tell you what, it's going to be a test now, isn't it, over the next few weeks. Big game against PSG, Chelsea, then Club Brugge and Arsenal, Newcastle, Liverpool. You look at it, Naden, and yes, you're back, but if you could play Ipswich and Salford City every week, we'd all be back.
Maybe not everyone. Maybe not everyone. Behave yourself. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. And I think when you look at this Man City side, they haven't been, anywhere near their absolute best. They are getting back to their best. Well, here's the test now. How many points can you get in this moment? How can you progress to the latter stages of the Champions League? Can you maintain this charge to potentially be in the top four coming the end of the season? Or is it a false dawn and there's going to be disappointment coming up because the game?
What do you feel by that, Naden? Which side of the fence are you on?
So I believe that they are better. I think they're probably still one or two, say, players being fully available from them being closer to their best. But there are people like De Bruyne who's playing more regularly. You've seen Foden finally scoring goals because up until like 2 months ago, a month and a half ago, he hadn't scored a goal. This is the Premier League player of the season from the year before, where he's hitting the ground running now. You've seen Doku having an impact. So you're hoping that Haaland maybe is over his slump as such, and Kovacic being in there week in, week out is making a difference. The defenders are playing better. There are fewer mistakes. That's the bigger thing. And I think for a spell when they were struggling, teams were sort of at times outplaying them, but they were preying on those mistakes. And I think the ruthless version of City, they need to be there to be able to be on this run now and actually have something to play for come March, April time.
Well, they could cement that on Wednesday, couldn't they? It is Wednesday. What?
Well, the place in the Champions League knockout stages. I think you've got more to prove than just one game against a substandard PSG side.
They beat Lons at the weekend.
That's very true.
I can remember that highlight.
I think it's very much a step in the right direction, but to say, this will define their,
No, but I think it's a better gauge if because PSG are going to be a threat. They're not brilliant, but they're certainly better than most teams in the Premier League. Of course they are. They've got pace up front. They've got quality in midfield. So we'll get a better test if City are open, get beat, and defensively make those mistakes again. Then the kind of results against Ipswich will go by the wayside because Ipswich are one of the favourites to be relegated. But we'll see how much more solid they are in this game in the Champions League, which is not so much will they get to the knockouts or not. They're just playing a much better side. And that gives you, some sort of clarity in terms of where they are. A 10-year deal for Erling Haaland.
Yeah, I talked about that last week.
Did you?
Yeah, there you go.
Was that? We didn't sign it last week.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
Yes, of course he did. It was last week he signed it.
Friday, Saturday.
Look, this time now you just changed the date. Mario, what's your gut saying about Manchester City? Can they put a run together, considering the quality of the opposition they're coming up against?
Yeah, I think. Look, it's still a great side. We cannot take that away from them. And I think, of course, they're going through difficult moments and patches and stuff like that. But I think if they get that momentum going and the way they showed this weekend, and I have to say, if it's also opened up, and sometimes they were naive because I think they played against City with a feeling like, we can get them now. And they were sometimes open and sometimes they got hit by, like the way they were trying to play out games, and sometimes City allowed them to be on the ball and they felt like, start feeling the confidence of being in the game, and it just hurt them. And away from that, I mean, the run that they're going through now, PSG is coming up and then Chelsea's coming to them. If they... Just the most important for them now is building the confidence and having the belief again in the mindset, because we can have the quality in your possession, but it doesn't mean you're always going to do well. And I think that's what they've been through. But I think the hurt and the feeling that they've been through now, it might help them to sustain and go through it now and start to get points.